Just when I thought that the latest episode managed to garner me a new hope for this show, here it goes again to shoot it all down to smithereens. Whatever goodwill episode 5 managed to muster, all comes crashing down in flames in a once again unnecessary wild goose chase in this latest episode of The Mandalorian. It begins with a Quarren merchant vessel going on a trajectory in their trading routes to complete the delivery of their goods, only to be impeded by Bo-Katan's former retainers, as they were hired by the nobility of the Calamari to return the child they have abducted. With little to no means of resistance against the Mandalorians, the captain of the ship immediately surrenders the child, and it is revealed that the reason for absconding him was due to both him and the captain having a romantic relationship, but now obviously no longer possible. And that concludes the introduction, which sadly speaks volumes on what to expect in the 6th episode. Honestly, there are far better ways to demonstrate the skill of Bo-Katan's retainers than this shallow subplot. I wish I could say that it gets better, but instead I will say, but wait, there's more. Enter Bo-Katan, Din, and Grogu to the planet Plazir 15 in pursuit of Bo-Katan's former retainers, who are now mercenaries for hire, as implied in the introduction, as they were headed to their location in order to recruit them back. They are forcefully brought to the rulers of the planet, namely Jack Black and Lizzo. I won't bother with their actual names in the show, because believe me when I say it is irrelevant. As much as I have nothing against these renowned celebrities, the money spent to recruit them for this episode could have been much better allocated in hiring a competent writing team. Given this is the third to the last episode of the season, one would think that the showrunners would pick up the pace in narrating the main plot. But nope, instead we get yet another irrelevant side story that takes up the majority of the episode, with only the last rapidly paced 5 minutes allotted to the bigger story arc, which I doubt even exists at this point. I will cut to the chase and save us all some time, as I can easily summarize the subplot. The plight this time around for Plazir 15 is the droids that labor for the organic inhabitants of the planet have gone rogue, and it is up to Din, Bo-Katan, and Grogu to unravel the source of this rebellion and to find the culprit responsible. Basically, the bulk of this episode is spent unnecessarily chasing new leads to eventually lead them to the source. And who is behind the droid malfunction? Great Scott! It is Christopher Lloyd, the head of security, who apparently wants Plazir 15 to be a separate independent state than being a part of the New Republic, despite the planet already being prosperous with the droids performing all the labor and menial tasks, while all organic species get to literally relax and indulge in festivities. I am not kidding when this episode emphasizes this point. While I have no issues with the concept of a utopia, it clearly does not fit to the overall tone and narrative of the Star Wars universe. It can't be said enough that the writing of this show is all over the place, and is clearly milking on what remains of this one highly revered TV series. The episode then concludes with Bo-Katan facing off with the new captain of her former retainers to retake her position as their captain. The quote-unquote twist after she secures victory is that she cannot be acknowledged as their captain as long as Din holds the dark saber, and instead of expounding on this critical detail of the story, Din instead narrates how incompetent he was in the previous episodes, and it was up to Bo-Katan to pick up the slack, and is therefore worthy of the dark saber. The mercenaries then just take Din's word for it, and accept Bo-Katan once again as their leader. End of episode. With only 2 episodes remaining for the season, I, now more than ever, believe that this season may end terribly, and may cause this show to be cancelled despite the 4th season seemingly already in development. With no creative writing and deep-rooted storytelling to stand upon, I will not be surprised if The Mandalorian will sooner rather than later reach its conclusion. With the directionless narrative and blowing the budget with high-profile celebrities, it is no longer a matter of if, but rather when will The Mandalorian be cancelled. What do you think of the latest episode? Sound off in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and do subscribe if you have not already. Have a great day.